it's hard to revolt against one thing because they're all these incremental values. And then again, if you're not getting the check, you got to wonder what I'm going to do. You know, you mentioned we haven't really seen the economic fallout yet. I haven't really seen someone say, I can't pay the rent. What am I going to do? And I can't get a job. Now I've got to have to, you know, we haven't seen that because it's been delayed, you know, with these furloughs here and some of the compensation. But when that becomes real, I'm curious what happens. You know, also we've got lawlessness in cities happening as well. And it's going to be interesting to see how this all ties into what's going to happen. I mean, are you optimistic, you know, Sherri, that we're going to see all this and wake up and stop? Because it doesn't really look like that's going to happen right now.
I am optimistic, and I'll tell you why. It's because, and you and I spoke about this the last time that I was on your program, is that there are some big glimmers of hope here. Things that the whole world got to see the fraud of Anthony Fauci front and center. The whole world is getting to see the fraud of the Gates Foundation and are like picking him apart. I mean, James Corbett's 4-part series just buries him. We see people are now paying attention to vaccinations and vaccines unlike ever before. Like, what do you mean fast tracking? What do you mean I can't say no? What do you mean this is going to be mandatory for me to renew my driver's license? We're seeing that there are, this whole thing about hydroxychloroquine, that you've got frontline physicians, real board certified physicians like me and them and Dr. Buttar are standing up and going, wait, stop. We can't do this. And one of the other, that's going to open a door to a whole long laundry list of other types of really good therapeutics that are out there that nobody's really talking about. And we can talk about it in a couple of minutes. But I think that, and we're seeing that nobody's liking this contact tracing. People are like, what do you mean you're going to spy on me on my phone? What do you mean this is going to be like the Nazi brown shirt movement, that everybody's spying on their neighbors and family? And so, and what makes me the most optimistic, Brian, is being on shows like yours that has this huge audience. And we're not just, those of us that have known about this for a long time, we're not just preaching to a little subset of the choir anymore. More and more people's brains are being like, wow, did you hear that? Maybe we should look into this. And it's taking, the curve isn't like this, like I would hope. It's a little bit longer like this, but it's moving in the right direction. And we only need, statistically, about 10% of the population to really wake up and say, no, stop, no more. We don't need all 7 billion people. We need 10% of the people. Like, look at the American Revolution. Look at any of those things when we ended, Black African slavery trade. We needed a small subset of dedicated people that were going to stick to it and see it through the end until the 100th monkey shows up and flips the whole thing. And I think we're fast approaching this, and that's why they're doubling down. That's why big tech is doubling down and stripping everything. It's like, it's 1984, the Ministry of Truth. You will only speak our truth. Really? Really? Try it. Just try it in this day and age. And so, we're seeing, so that's why I'm optimistic, because we can see they've overplayed their hands. They are running scared. They are doubling down on every curve. And it's like whack-a-mole, right? Every time they try to whack down something, we just pop up somewhere else, because more and more tens of thousands and millions and maybe even billions of people are starting to wake up and saying, gigs up, guys. We're going to win this in the end.